Hey everyone, this is Tim from TTT Urban Homestead with another update. Kind of do a tour of everything. That's what I've been doing. I'm gonna come out with more content. Some of the projects I'm working on. This is the first video you've seen. This is the projects I've been working on in my yard. Got the red, white, and blue section. I've added some vincas, red vincas in the front of the red section, and some white vincas, and then everything is really starting to fill in. I'm gonna do this kind of quick so that the video is not so long. So I've been cutting the grass, and this area here is where my 4 o'clock high come up, and they are coming up. I've had these things growing probably for 20 years. They grow by seed, or they have a tubular. The root system spreads out. Alright, this is the Russian kale going to seed still. Still have some more vincas here we'll put in. Eggplants are doing very well. I am going to fill this in with eggplant, so some of this other stuff's going to come out. Strawberries, I've really been picking a lot of strawberries, and I skipped to pick yesterday, and I'm seeing strawberries that need to be picked. I'm trying to get enough the first couple weeks here to make some jam. From the instructions, you need 8 cups of mashed strawberry with the Sure-Gel recipe. Here's the herb garden. Mint still coming on strong. Sage. And this is oregano. A couple of oregano plants. The thyme. Everything is growing very well. Today it's kind of rainy. Got a break in the rain a little bit, so I just want to get this video done so I can get it put out. It's the cactus from my niece. Originally, I only got this one piece right here and kept it in the greenhouse all winter, and then it started sprouting. I've never grown cactus though. I'm just seeing how that goes. Cosmos, I've been cutting. I am propagating some red and white cosmos, which I'll show you in the back. This is the wildflower bucket, 17-gallon bucket, and it looks like a cosmos. Pink cosmos. So I don't know, it's just a mixture of a whole lot of stuff. Probably a little overcrowded, but we'll see how it goes. I am going to walk through my carport this time and let you see it. It's kind of a mess, but I keep a lot of my dirt supplies, mulch, and one of the reasons is one of my dogs, he likes to eat my fertilizer. Especially, well, he'll eat the natural fertilizer like bone meal, blood meal. He'll eat it, and he actually ate a whole bag of bone meal, and no problem. I looked it all up and said it's just bones, crushed up bones. Anyway, here's the backyard. Lettuces, Paris Island Cost doing very well. I do have one that is bolting, going to seed. Let's see how that goes. Made a lot of changes. If you go back and see any of the other videos, it's only 2 or 3 of them. I had this bed right here was full. It had broccoli going to seed. Everything was going to seed. All the winter green stuff was going to seed. So I cleared that all out, and I planted green beans, and they're coming up, and sweet corn, and you can see those are starting to pop up. So we got 2 rows of sweet corn and a row of green beans in the back. So this was a mess, kind of messy looking last video. And then I add this trellis system for vine tomatoes. Like any of your vine tomatoes, if you don't want them just to go wild and crazy, because they'll take over a whole bed. Like one plant could take over a whole raised bed, and I've planted like that a few years, mixed in with Romas and vine tomatoes, and it's just a mess, and the bugs really can't control, like pests or anything like that, so it's really hard to do. So I'm going to go with some simple plants like corn and beans in the raised bed, and then in the bags, this is a new system that I'm using. It's basically, I'm experimenting with it, but I've seen all the reviews and lots of people already do it, and so I'm going to try that out. I used to actually plant tomatoes in this container, and I believe this container is probably only about 3 gallons of soil, and I used to line them up on the back of this this raised bed and trellis them up just like this. And I actually did, we still had lots of tomatoes, so I just kept these containers watered very well, because they will tend to dry out. So with all these bags though, people ask, well, what about the water? And what I found was get these little trays to put underneath them, and then you can see if they're dried out, stuff like that. And doing well. I'm working on my irrigation system this year. I've had irrigation for 4 or 5 years, and I mainly use Rainbird tubes, and the drip system. So that's a half a gallon an hour drip, a little black head right there, and I was testing out yesterday. So I am going to run irrigation up to these raised bag stands that I've come up with, and I'll show you that once I get that done. But they do have this all runs back to a control system that I got that I can actually control from my phone, and then it also hooks up to I have 2 water tanks that collect the rainwater. So update on the fence line: chamomile, fennel, chamomile. Got a cucumber plant doing very well, and it's attached itself to the fence, which is kind of the idea. Radishes, I've already picked some. Morning glory. Alright, and then we have sweet pea. Sweet pea coming out with peas. Onion plants doing very well. And this is a bunching onion, and this is regular onion, so we'll see how that goes. I haven't really done a lot of onions, so just trying that out. I picked a couple cucumbers off of this plant. This is 2 plants, and I want it to attach, and it already has. So once it attaches to this fence, it's going to go just wherever it wants along the fence. So that'll be fine. I want that. And oregano doing well. I think I'm going to harvest some of that and dry it out. Alright, this is a collard green, mustard green, and Paris Cos. This is Paris Cos lettuce bolting on the seed because it gets a lot of sun right here. So it was kind of the whole purpose of this particular bucket or container for seed purposes. And I think I'm gonna do that from now on. I'm gonna actually have certain containers that I can collect seeds, because if I do stuff in the raised bed, it takes up the space of the raised bed until you can harvest the seeds, and I don't have time for that. So I'm not waiting on the broccoli seed. I cleared it out, and I only had 2 broccoli plants. I literally still have a whole package of broccoli seeds. So we'll do that this fall. I'll do a specific Swiss chard broccoli bag that maybe has just for seed purposes. Here is the potato bags. I'm waiting on, at one point I only had plants coming up on the backside, and now I noticed that there's one coming up over here, which was another potato that I planted in there. I thought it had rotted. So I'm kind of letting it get caught up, and then I'm gonna fill that one the rest of the way with soil. These 2 are already filled with soil and looking good. There's my dill plant. Let me step back on my morning glory tree climbing system here. So looking good. Mainly the red ones are showing flowers, but I do have other varieties in there. I've got moonflower, which is white, and I think I have a blue. There should be a blue morning glory in here that I guess they open a little later. It's May 4th, so we'll see. They're growing very well. I want those vines to go. I mean, really, I think they're going to end up wrapping around this tree, and this tree's going to look really neat once it's over with. So up here I have the bush tomatoes, which is Romas. Right now it's all Roma. So these are Roma tomatoes, and so I'm going to try to evenly spread them out, give them room out on the side. I might just trim stuff in between them just so that I could have more, but just so I can have them close. Some of these I just actually put in this week, but I used to have, this is where the other tunnel used to sit. I took it down because inside that tunnel it was so hot in there. It was like 90 degrees, and I was trying to run a fan to cool it down, and it just wasn't feasible. So I went ahead and took it down because I can use this space for my raise the bag system here, which literally is under $20 to put this together. The boards are $4 and something, and the bricks are $2 and something. So it's literally under $20, and then the bags themselves are like $1 something, maybe $2 to $2 on Amazon. But it's real simple to put these together. And then you're adding weight by adding the deck. I don't think anything's going to fall over, but as long as you keep these bags watered and they have some weight on them, I think they'll be fine. Here is going to be I'm going to call it like Cucumber Alley or something. These are all 7-gallon 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 bags, and I put cucumber seeds. And I actually kind of, because I've always kind of mounded up the dirt for cucumbers, and I plant 4 or 5 seeds, and then I usually take it down to 3 plants per mound, and that works out. And then the tray that's on top, I just want to keep that the top soil part from drying out too much, and it's plenty hot, so I'm pretty sure those seeds are going to pop up. Cucumber seeds like the heat to germinate. So yesterday it was very hot, so hopefully that kicks them in, and then I'll start seeing them come out. There's an impatiens. I think I got these seeds from my mom. That's why I'm getting a lot of pinks. I think all of them are some kind of pink. That's an impatiens. A couple more there. That's fine. I'll put these around. Even if it's in the bag, I'll put them around somewhere. That's a petunia that actually I'm thinking about using that in the blue section in front. So I'm gonna propagate that, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'll show you some propagation stuff I've been doing. Here's the tunnel, and I've got that is a bucket of radish. So I measured the radish root when I picked the radish. It was only like 3 to 4 inches. So I'm gonna try radishes, and I put a lot of radishes in this container. So we're gonna see how that goes, because I like radishes. So when I have them all the time in this tunnel, I can run heat in here in the winter and the spring. I can keep it from freezing, or actually keep it above 55. Keeping it above 55 allows me to actually grow tomatoes. So I had tomatoes in here all winter until I let the temperature drop to 45. Well, the power consumption on that is pretty high. So but this next year I'm going to do some different heating techniques and save on the power. And then I have a fan, basically just a regular Lasco fan that I run in here, and I can open both ends of this tunnel, and it's fine. So it stays cool when it gets up in the 80s. And then this is the Inkbird controller, and it has a hot and cold plug-in down here. So the cooling is the fan, and then the heating would be the heater. But all the heaters are put up, so there's not going to be any heat going on. Alright, we're at 18 minutes. Let me run in here real quick. Okay, so I've moved from that one tunnel that I took down where I had all the baby plants. I moved the lighting system in here. This greenhouse gets shade all summer, which is I planned on this. So I don't want to really do too much in my greenhouse in the summertime. Mainly it's going to be fall, winter, early spring when it's cold, where I have a heater. I have the heater in here also, so it's run by the same Inkbird controller. So I put the lights in here, and I'm actually running the lights during the day because it gives these plants the light they need. And these are just babies, most of them. I had this green plant, this pepper plant out yesterday. It was too hot, and it kind of got droopy on me, so I got it in here. And then the propagation, I'm doing some propagation stuff, and I'll just show you. This is Cosmos. I believe that's red Cosmos. I guess I should label it. And I've already got some Cosmos rooting in just a gallon jug, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Here is, I believe that's a zinnia, and I showed you this before, I think last week, but I didn't have the roots. You couldn't see them, but it's really, it's rooting, and I actually did put a little rooting compound, not a lot, just a tiny bit in here, and they're rooting. So, and these are petunias. So petunia, that one's not rooting. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one's rooting. So that's a petunia that's rooting in just a mason jar, and I keep it so it's not like in direct sunlight and heat. Of course, mint is ridiculous, so you can just see how that goes. And then these are I've done this on some this is a petunia, and I put a little bit of water in the bottom, and I keep like a little humidity lid, but I take the cap off because when I had the cap on, I was getting mold inside there. So I've done this on a couple lavenders, and it worked great. And I just put it in here, and boom, you know, they just keep the moisture. See, it has a little moisture on even on the leaf, just from having the lid on there. Then I got this one over here where I'm doing some different things, and if you notice, some of them, I think they got moldy, so I had to put, and then these are the other ones, the green, the ones that, as long as it stays green, you're good. So I'm going to show you, let me show you this is one of my winter tomato plants, which is producing little tomatoes. And there's like 3 or 4 on there. We can come, I like to pick them when they have a little bit of softness, because that really tells me they're ripe. Alright, I'm going to show you. Okay, let's just go around here. So we got my table with a lot of stuff that I've been working on. Lavender plants. Here's a bachelor button that I haven't planted yet. Petunias, some more tomatoes. I got another Roma. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I don't have no more room, but I might use, if I build another raised bag system right here, I could put some more. I do have some cherry tomato plants, and those are bush tomatoes. So I'm actually probably going to do another raised bag system right here or over on the hill. But I'd actually, with this space I got between these, I think this level ground would be easier to do it on. Okay, so I'm gonna walk over the porch. The porch is covered, so a lot of times I'll sit out here on the porch on my little table system. I do have a refrigerator with a freezer out here, and that really comes in handy when we pick stuff. We can throw it in here if we don't want to process it right away. We can throw it in. Here's propagation of, I got some mint, and this is a cosmos right here, and it's really rooting up. I'm just going to let it get lots of roots on there, and then transfer it to a soil. But even when I transfer the soil, I'm still going to kind of keep it over here. I'm not going to put it right out in the sun. I'm going to keep it over in this area and let the roots kind of get established before I go sticking it. Now this is the ones I just started. These are some red. I want some red cosmos. From what I see from cosmos, they get pretty tall. And this is my my fish pond. Right now, I have my pool light inside the fish pond. I'm gonna turn it on. It's kind of a cloudy day, so it's pretty neat. Turn the light on. Anyway, they think I'm gonna feed them. A while back, I had an owl that I caught on this camera right here, and that was the whole purpose of me putting it there. Something was eating my fish, so I'll throw that clip in here because it's only like a 5-second clip, so I'll throw it in here and just show you what was happening. And that's why I put this little arbor net system over the top, and that stops their path, so they can't come. If the owls, these birds that dive in and grab things and dive out, or that fly out, if they don't have a clear path of entry and exit, they're not going to do it. So you put something in the way, and then they're not going to be doing that. All right, here's my little shed with all my, well, some of my tools and stuff. Gotta have what you need. Okay, I'm gonna come back to the side. All right, don't look at the garbage. So propagation of aloe, I separated basically this plant. I separated it into, it's probably 12 plants, and then I had some. This is a lavender that I had in one of those covered containers for the longest time, and I'm just letting it root really well. But here's these are what the water tanks I'm talking about. Here, there's 2 of them, and then I have the gutters feeding into that, and also a pipe that runs along here that goes to this, that comes off of the roof of the deck. Here's part of the water system I'm putting back together. I take it all apart in the wintertime, and now I'm putting it back together. So I'll get a shot of that when I'm done. I do have a pool, above ground swimming pool, and I have a deck system that goes up, so you can come up here. You can sit down above the fish pond. I need to clean off that netting so you can actually see down in there. Not really messing with the pool. I need to clean out this deck. The pool is still covered. I usually don't mess with the pool until middle of May, when I know that the water is going to get heated, because that tree used to be 50 foot tall, would block the sun all summer long, and I'd get about 2 hours of sun on the pool, and the water would always be freezing. So here's kind of an overview of the whole thing. That's kind of my brush pile back there, and I have a composting pile right there. Those are for the dogs. They jump in there. Anyway, greenhouse, tunnel. Used to be tunnel, now it's raised bag. Oh, and that's my little laboratory nursery right there. Sometimes I might actually start some seeds in there. It's also a good place to put my wheelbarrow after I've already filled it up with the mixture that I use. I'll roll it in there when I know it's going to rain. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.